Good day. Today we have a very special class ahead of us. We're going to be walking on prosperity, removing blocks. And today we'll have a little bit of meditations to just start to open up and release our prosperity blocks. Hello, welcome. Today we're going to be doing a prosperity marathon on walking with removing our main blocks. And we're going to really open up the energy of prosperity. It's going to be a very, very special class. And if you're new to my channel, to Kundalini Yoga, to this kind of alternate healing, welcome. It's going to be very, very light. It's not going to overload your system or your brain with information. But what we will do instead is really relieve a lot of anxiety, a lot of tension. And all you will need to do for the class is just be very relaxed in a relaxed environment. Don't get distracted, because then you won't be able to feel what is happening. Because we're going to relieve a lot of our tension, our anxieties. And we're going to open up the energy in the body for prosperity. And the only thing also you'll need, other than a quiet space, is water. A liter of water if possible. You can go and grab some now if you don't have next to you. Just because it's really, really important, not just in general, but also especially when we do a Kundalini Yoga class, to drink lots of water, because we detox a lot. And our body is letting go a lot of the stress. So the more we hydrate, the better. And it will literally leave, the stress will leave from our skin. So it's really an incredible thing. So this is why we need to hydrate as much as possible during this class and also in general. Today, I want to share with you and talk about where do prosperity blocks begin. Because this is the core foundation of how we live every day, of how we create opportunities, of how much money we can earn, and also about how much money we can spend in our life. Because you can be earning 10,000 euros, you can be earning, above average, but how much do we really get to spend? Because when there's a prosperity block, even when you're earning a lot, you won't be able to spend a lot. There will be debts, there will be always a state of conflict or problem with money. And cash flow will always be blocked. So this is why we need to work with the foundation of prosperity and work with the foundation of our main blocks in prosperity. Because even when you start to earn money, even when you start to grow in money in specific, not just in prosperity, but in money, whenever we have a lot of fear, a lot of anger, a lot of guilt, it shows up with the way we begin to spend and build our wealth. Whenever we already have it and we already have this opportunity to grow. And it starts to create more problems. This is one of the deeper subconscious blocks on prosperity, is that the more wealth you have, the more you start to grow and have what you want, the more debt you accumulate, the more problems you accumulate. But it's not the problem of money. It's not the problem that now you're happy, so something needs to go out of balance, or this is just bad karma, so it's showing up, or it's bad to have a lot of money. But it's a pattern that was built from early childhood. This is what we'll talk about, and how these definitive moments from our childhood have now led to these moments where we begin to spend and use the money in a way that only creates more stress for us. So even right now, if you have what you want, this is a really important class, because it will really expand your ability to have more. And also to remove a lot of obstacles that you have unconsciously built or will be building in the future. So this is one of the specialties that I work with, is that not only do we remove the stress for today, but we're also clearing our deepest blocks so that for tomorrow, for our future, we're not taking any steps that create more problems for us. This is a really important thing when it comes to prosperity. Is imagine you think you want to have a lot of money. The easiest way to grow a business is to take out a loan. And somehow or another you take a loan that the interest is so high that instead of growing your business, all of that money that you're trying to earn or you are earning as profit goes back into paying this debt. And so your business never grows and you have this debt that is always accumulating. This is one of the prosperity blocks. And so today we're going to really work with this so that as we start to heal our subconscious and remove some of our main tension today, you will start to realize and feel how to live differently so that you're not taking out loans or taking out and doing certain actions that create more problems in the future. Rather, whatever you do from here on will really create more prosperity, will really bring you more wealth and happiness and joy and health. This is the idea of prosperity. This is the foundation and the basis of prosperity, that it continuously sustains you, heals you, and fulfills you. So this is what we will work on today, and we will really open up the energy. Our deepest prosperity blocks begin from early childhood. It begins with all the negative phrases we hear about prosperity, about money in specific. One of the first things we always hear, at least I would always hear, and I've seen a lot of clients also write this, is, money doesn't grow on tree. Have you ever heard this? Money doesn't grow on tree. This is kind of the foundation of what we feel and understand about prosperity, is that money doesn't grow on tree. You need to work really hard to earn this money. You need to really suffer, and companies are out to get you. They don't want to pay you more. They're trying to cheat you. They're trying to cut benefits. And so this is the first little things we start to hear at a really young age when we are the most impressionable, is that money is hard. Prosperity is hard. We can't do what we love. We can't just decide that I want to be a painter and make money. That there's no market for it. It's so hard. We live in this little area. Nobody even knows. How are you going to make money selling art? So from an early age, we start to hear and we start to learn that money is hard. Doing what we want is impossible. Making money doing what we love is impossible. Who has this? You can write yes or no. This is the first thing that we start to learn about money, about prosperity, that it's very hard. It's very difficult. There's no opportunity for you. And the world doesn't want to give you any opportunities. The second thing that we learn around prosperity is from our parents' actions. How do they live? How do they work? What kind of jobs do they do? Are they fulfilled there? Do they make money doing what they love? Because yes, they can be doing what they love, but they make no money. One of the most best examples I'll give you is from the Harry Potter series. Have you seen these movies, read these books? All the good, kind, loving people are poor. Like the Weasley family. They're one of the main characters that show up throughout all the movies, throughout all the books, where they're really good, honest, hardworking people, but they are dirt poor. They have no money, have no savings, they can't afford what they want, and they have to buy everything secondhand. But it doesn't matter because they're really good, hardworking people. They're really loving, they stand for all the good justice. While the evil people, the bad people, they are rich, they're wealthy, and they're out to hurt everybody. This is a theme that plays out in almost every movie, every big genre, is that the rich are evil. Think about any of your favorite movies, any of your favorite TV shows, even books. The rich are bad. Having money means you're evil, you're selfish, you're arrogant, and you don't care about other people's feelings, while the poor are really hard-working people and they're giving their best. This is the theme that we have fed not just from our parents, but from the entire world. every society has this kind of a story where having a lot of money is evil, it's selfish, it's bad. To be prosperous means you're out and you're hurting somebody. And this is one of the things we learn from early childhood, from the books and movies, everything we hear. And it impacts the brain. It impacts the brain very deeply because most of our parents, our families, they themselves do not live a life where they're completely fulfilled. They work to survive. They work to have money to feed their children, to put a roof over their head. But they don't see work, they don't see money as a means to really open themselves and find what they want to do, to be able to fulfill every desire, every wish. It's not there. It's like, that's not the point of work. And this is why, especially in Indian families, this is really true, where it's like they have the outline, their children's life completely mapped out of what they need to do, what they need to study, of what kind of job they need to take, what kind of money they need to be earning, because this is the only way they can be safe. They don't think about how they can be happy. Happiness doesn't matter, because how can you be happy if you have no roof over your head? This is the thinking of the mentality. Of course, it's not the thinking of everyone, but this is the thinking of most people. Because this is the way we have been taught, and this is the experience we've had for years and years and years. Because our parents suffered and their parents suffered, so what do they teach us? They teach us all of the cautions. Don't do this, or you need to do this because the world is like this. This is the way to only earn money. But what has happened now in the last, let's say the last 10 years, last 20 years? The world has drastically changed in terms of what we can do, in terms of what we can do to make money, has completely changed. We're not limited anymore. But the mindset, the beliefs, the system that our family, that our society has had for years is the same. This is why it's becoming so hard to do anything you want. It's not that it's hard to do anything that we want. It's that the system and the beliefs and the way we've lived is so drastically different from the reality of where we could be today and what we can be doing today. This is one of the most beautiful things that we get to learn as we start to remove our prosperity blocks in the highest yoga that I teach, is that how do we adjust in today? How do we create opportunities today? Because there are thousands of opportunities, thousands of things we can do now, and we can also be doing thousands of things that we love to make money, to become financially secure, to become wealthy, not just to have money and to do what we love, but to become wealthy. We have now an entire world of possibilities. Everything can be done through the phone. Right? We need our phone, and that's it. We need our phone, and we can do any kind of business. We can make anything we want, and we can learn anything we want. We can literally do 5 years, 10 years of course, depending on what we're trying to learn, all on the internet. We have online courses. We have everything right here in our phone we can do. So our possibilities now are completely infinite of what we can do. But internally, we are the same. We carry all of our parents and their parents and their parents and all of their collective experiences, negative experiences around money, around prosperity, around happiness, around fulfillment, around what we're allowed to have as well. We have all of this the same. That hasn't changed, even though the world is in a very different place. And the first thing we need to do is right now, we'll do a task, is remember 2 or 3 phrases, negative phrases your parents used to say about money, or your family members, the people closest to you, your parents, your teachers, grandparents. What would they say around money and prosperity? Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work really hard. Nobody wants to give you an opportunity. Har Simran, this is what I would hear. it's very hard to, we're earning and working 10, 20 hours a day to make this money. So these were the beliefs I was passed down with, that money is very hard. To have an opportunity, you have to really fight and struggle in order to get what you want. And even when you're struggling, even when you're doing everything, you're not going to get what you want. Even if you're really hard working people. And this is the second part, is then how did they live? What kind of jobs did they take? What kind of money were they earning? What were they able to afford for themselves and for you? You as their child. What were you able to have? And this is now the biggest impression we're left with from early childhood. Not just the words. The words that we hear are reinforced by the way our parents live, by the way they earned money, by the kind of jobs they did. So for me, I always saw my parents, they would work 12 to 16 hours a day. 12 to 16 hours a day. And I saw that they were building their own business and they were starting to earn a lot of money from the start, but they had a lot of debt, they had a lot of problems, so they never were able to retain any money. And so it was always very hard for them to grow their business and then to have any profit left over. So this became my impression that, so even if you work really hard, even if you do what you love, even if you're standing for everything that is right, doesn't mean you will be happy, doesn't mean you will be healthy, it doesn't mean you will have money. So this was the first impression I began to learn from an early age at 5, 6 years old around prosperity, around money. And this is the theme that has carried on, that what is the point of doing what we love and what we want? Because people still suffer. My parents suffered, and the way their relationship built also suffered. And it leaves a very deep imprint from early childhood. And they were, even though they did a job that they were really good at, that they knew how to run and they knew how to build, they had a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, they were very unhappy. And so it starts to leave this very deep imprint that this is my life. And whatever negative phrases they would say, because this was their experience, they would share it with me, I began to learn, and it reinforced by their actions. And the problem is that at the time they were saying, well, the company is bad. The company I'm working with, they're really bad. They don't want to pay on time, and they don't give fair wages, nothing like that. And you have to really work 10 hours a day to make a profit. The problem is that when I began to work as well, when I began to think about prosperity, I carried the same thing. And whenever I would see, and I will share an example because it doesn't show up directly. Our prosperity blocks, our deepest blocks in life that make us unhappy, that make us sick, that make us unfulfilled, these are very, very hidden. They do not just show up in front of our face and we say, oh, look at that, this is really bad. I'll show you how they show up very subtly in our life. I remember I would see companies that were, example, like Amazon. Let's say Amazon. This is one of the worst companies out there. And I would see how they were treating reports that would come out, news that would come out about how they were treating their workers and how they were underpaying and how they were cutting out a lot of people to try and make a buck. And I would think immediately, wow, they're so evil. Look at these companies. They're so bad. This is one of the biggest companies, one of the most recognizable companies around the world. And look at how they're treating people. So this was the first thing that I would see. The second thing was really, I would look at brands, let's say Louis Vuitton. I would look at Louis Vuitton or Gucci or Chanel, and I will look at the prices and go, wow, look at them ripping people off. They're overcharging. It's so expensive. It's such a waste of money. Why are people so stupid? Why would they spend money on this thing? This was the second way, my subconscious would leach out this block. Here, I'm going to explain why this is really a tell for our own blocks. Whenever we judge another company, another person, anything really on prosperity, on money, let's just take brands. We judge brands for how much they're charging, why they're overcharging, why are people so stupid to be spending money on this? When we begin to do that, what we're saying to ourselves, to the world, is that anything expensive is bad, is horrible. And we associate all these expensive prices and companies with evil, with bad. And this is the main news that comes out, is that we often only see what the rich are doing, but all the bad things they're doing. We do not see all the good things they're doing. And we focus our brain on this, that this is bad, look at the prices, it's so expensive, who can afford that? Why would they want to spend $5,000 on a handbag when they're starving, when their children in Africa are starving? And this is the way our brain starts to misdirect. And we often stay in this loop where we just judge and we're negative about the companies, about the prices, about inflation. This is the biggest one as well. Inflation is bad. The economy is bad. And we put all of our brain and our resources over here. Rather than thinking, if I can't afford this, what can I do to afford this? Our brain, because we've never been taught to redirect our brain to think about how this could be good for us, or where an opportunity lies for us in this. We only see the negative. We only see the bad in it. When we want to build prosperity, when we want to build our wealth and to become more financially secure and to do what we love and earn money doing what we love, we need to stop focusing completely, zero. We never look and we never say anything negative about prosperity, about money. We never look at it. In a way, we have to become very ignorant about it. If at least in the beginning, we need to be very ignorant about the bad around prosperity, the negative, the selfishness around prosperity. Because we need to teach our brain to associate the good things around prosperity. Example, if you're charging 500 euros for your services, what good does that come? Most people, some people, not most, some people will look at it and think, wow, that person's overcharging. Oh, they're so arrogant, they're so bad. Don't they want to help somebody else but they can't afford this? This is one mindset. And another mindset will be, how can I afford this? What can I do to afford this? We never go there. This is the problem. We never go there. We never think, how can we afford this? What can I do today to grow this business? Why don't we think this way? Because subconsciously we associate prosperity and money as hard, as painful, as selfish, as bad. And so it shows up very subtly. Indirectly, it shows up when we judge, when we complain about economy and inflation. This is how it shows up. It doesn't show up, in our face. It's very subtle, where we're just like complaining about the inflation. This company is bad. My boss is horrible. They're treating me badly. When we begin to work with prosperity, what happens? If your company is treating you badly, what do you do? This is, I will share with you. When I began to work with prosperity, I used to always complain that my boss is really bad. She's the one that's not paying me well. This in my first job. But when I began to work with prosperity, I realized that I really didn't like this job, and that the person I was working with makes me miserable. They're horrible. They treat me horribly. So what do? Do I just meditate? And this is my first impression of meditation, is that you meditate and then you hope that everything fixes itself. Like, okay, I'm going to be ignorant now and not think about it and hope that somebody will come and save me from this horrible job, or my boss will change. My boss will change and give me an increase. But what happened in reality is when I began to work with prosperity is I realized I don't want to work for this person anymore. I can't work for this person anymore because this person makes me sick. This person makes me anxious. This person makes me depressed. This job makes me depressed. So I had to, then what do? This is one of the first things as we begin to work with prosperity is that we begin to realize what makes us sick, what makes us anxious, what makes us depressed, what kills our health because of the time, the hours, because of the wages. So this is the first thing that will begin to change is that we become very aware of the problem. What is the problem? As we begin to meditate, as we begin to heal, now what do? Normally, we just stay in this job. This is why we want to kill our anxiety, our sensitivity, because we don't want to become aware of what makes us anxious, of what kills us, because that means we have to change. We have to make a different choice. And one of the choices can be to leave this job. But we're afraid to leave this job. So it's better to just say the boss is bad, the economy is bad, inflation is bad, rather than change ourselves, because change is scary. What can I do? I can't do anything. What will happen? Our mind will start to send us thoughts like, well, every job will be like this. Every other place will be like this. So what's the point? Just stay here and suffer. At least I know how much I'm suffering. It's good enough. So this is the way it starts to build. But as we begin to meditate, what can we do now? And this is the highest yoga. It's not just any meditation, but this is what I've learned from my teacher, and this is what I'm teaching to my clients now, is how do we open up different parts of our brain, different parts of our body, so that as we become sensitive, what can we do? When I began to work with my teacher and on prosperity, and I began to realize that my job was making miserable, what could I do? At first, I didn't want to look at it. But as I continued to heal myself with the highest yoga, I began to see 10 different things I could do. One of the first things I could do was I was already a certified Kundalini Yoga teacher, so I thought I can start to teach yoga. This can be one of my first things that I can do to earn money on the side. Even if it's not a sustainable income right now, but at least it's something. It's something I can grow and I can do occasionally to make money so that I'm not fully dependent on this job. That's one. Another thing, I could sell things around my home that we weren't using anymore. This is something that kids often do. They will find little things. They will want to sell lemonade, right? These are really simple ideas, but they're very effective. If you think about it in terms of right now, if you just look around your house, what can I give away? What can I sell? What clothes am I not using anymore? What shoes am I not using anymore? Oh, I have this old phone that I don't use anymore. Let me sell it. Doesn't have to be a lot of money, but it is money. It is prosperity. So we start to move. We start to think in terms of what can I do to have more opportunities, to have different sources of income, of prosperity. So this is the way I began to work with my teacher, and I began to learn about prosperity, and I began to experiment it with myself. It's just, okay, I hate this job. It makes me miserable. What do I do? How can I get out of this? What are the different opportunities I can do? Another thing I did was I taught a class for my teacher in Russia on how to tie turbans, because I knew how to tie turbans. I knew how to tie turbans so that people could teach Kundalini Yoga classes, because this is one of the etiquettes that we have in Kundalini Yoga as a teacher, is that you wear a turban when you teach a class. So I was like, I know how to tie turbans. Most people don't know how to tie turbans, so I will teach this. And I earned 300 euros teaching a class for 200 people on how to tie turbans. So this was another form of prosperity. Another thing, I went to a yoga festival, and I decided that I needed a job because I was short on money. I was traveling at this time. So how can I earn money? I went to a yoga festival. I saw that the Yogi tea. There was a tea brand. Booth had, they were looking for people to do, to sell the tea, to advertise it, yada, yada, yada. So I took up that job and I worked 2 hours a day for 4 days and I earned 100 euros. Different forms of things I could do to earn money. This was just the beginning. This was just the start of earning 10 euros, 50 euros, 100 euros, 200 euros, a few hundred euros. This was just the start, but it was a very important start because instead of focusing all of my time and energy and my brain, putting my brain into resources and news, reading about why inflation is bad, why the economy is bad, because it's COVID, nobody has money, people are out of jobs. Instead of putting my time and energy there, I instead redirected myself to think about how can I get out of this situation? How can I get out of this job? It wasn't immediate for me. It wasn't like overnight I immediately found another job. But what did happen is when I began to create more opportunities for myself, just selling new things or doing a job part-time. Another thing, I remember I was traveling. I was in Germany at this time and I went and I was staying at this ashram. And at this ashram, they needed their bridge rebuilt. They had a small little bridge and they wanted some help to rebuild it. So me and my brother and my friend, we ended up helping rebuild their bridge by just knocking in the nails into the bridge, screwing some things in, and I earned 150 euros for 5 hours of work. There is prosperity everywhere, everywhere. Anywhere you live, everywhere you go, there is an opportunity to make money. If you want, if you're open to it. And if you remove your subconscious anger and guilt towards money. This is the most important, which every single one of us has on a different level. We have it on different levels, and it's important to remove this anger, this guilt towards prosperity, towards money, so that we can open ourselves to see all the different opportunities that are around us to earn money. And this is what we need to unlock within us so that we can start to see, what can I do today to get out of this debt? What can I do today to go on this trip that I've always wished to go on? My wishes and my ideas for making quick money, short-term money, they were very simple and very effective. And it also carried on when I began to have longer, bigger, long-term goals. Because then I had a wish to move to Spain because I lived in Singapore my whole life and I grew up there. And at the same time also, I had no savings, no financial ability to be able to move to Spain. So this was one of my biggest goals and my wishes. And I was thinking, how can I do this? Literally, it will take thousands of euros to move. How can I do this? I didn't think about it in this terms. I thought about my goal, my wish, and I would get very depressed thinking about it. It's just like, there's no way I'll be able to move to Spain. Zero. I don't have the money. My parents don't have the money because they're putting all of the money into this business and that thing and this debt and this loan. So I was like, okay, I'm at this job where I'm not being paid well. I'm miserable. It makes me anxious. And I have this goal that is completely out of my reach. So I would get very depressed. And my teacher, I didn't tell her that this was my wish or my goal. Instead, she would know right away. She's like, if you want to start doing this, you want to move to Spain, you want to have your own job, then what you need to do is to remove your anger around money, around yourself. Because as much as we are angry at the world, that is only 1/10 of how much we're actually angry at ourselves. And we redirected, our mind will redirect it that it's that person, or this person has pissed me off, or that company has pissed me off, or the economy is so bad again. Our mind redirects it. But in reality, all of that anger is towards ourselves because we feel small. We feel that the world is out to get us and hurt us and make us small, and that nobody wants to help us. Nobody wants to help me. Nobody cares about me. Why would they care that I want to move to Spain? Why would they care that I don't like this job? And again, it's reinforced by our parents, by our society, because this is the way they live, this is the way they've learned, and that's the only thing they know. This is the only thing that we know. But when I began to learn from my teacher, I realized that I didn't want to keep living this way. I wanted to have whatever it took in me to be able to move to Spain. And when I began to work with her, by the way, the way I could move to Spain was the easiest. I found the easiest solution, the most affordable solution for me at that time, even when I had to work this horrible job, to be able to move to Spain. And I never would have seen this opportunity if I didn't remove my internal anger and guilt towards prosperity. So the first thing is, what we want to do is to stop complaining and to stop finding news and looking at different companies or people who are bad and horrible with money or the way they treat others. Just turn your eye to the side for now. Just close it for now. Don't look at that. Second, we want to do is to say what we want. What do you want from yourself? What do you really want? If you don't know at this time, that's okay. But if you already know it right now, just think it or say it out loud. I want to have my own business and be earning 10,000 euros. I want to move to Maldives. I want to move to Italy. I want to remove all of my debt. I want to be able to spend $1,000 every month on shopping. It can be any goal, any wish. Just think about it. This is a really important task. So right now, think about, what do you want? I'm going to think about what I want as well, because it's really important. This is a really important task, so please do it. If you're in this class, think about what you want. You can say it out loud or just think about it. Okay. The third thing we need to do, this is the most important, is we need to remove our subconscious anger towards prosperity. This is where the highest yoga that I teach comes in hand. What I work with in my prosperity seminars or personal consultations on prosperity is I show my clients how to remove their main blocks on prosperity and how to reach their goals and their income, their wishes directly. We're not wishing for it. This is not a prayer. This is really important. What we're doing here is not praying for a better life. Completely put it out of your mind. What we're doing here is very actively creating the life that we want. Very actively, tangibly, we are doing and creating the life that we want. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open up the energy of prosperity. I will lead a meditation. And after this meditation, what we need to do is we need to earn money very quickly. And you will see how to do it. I will show you how you can do it. But first we need to meditate to remove this tension that is very deep in you. And then you will really be able to see and feel how to make money. In the next few days, you'll be able to earn. We'll set a goal after this class. And then we can go and earn it very quickly. Okay, have some water. Before we meditate, we need to have some water. drink, drink, drink. If you need to go to the bathroom, you can go now before we meditate. It won't be a long meditation. Okay, what we're going to do for this meditation is put our thumb and index together, and the rest of the 3 fingers are straight like this. Connect the thumb and your index, and the rest of the 3 fingers are straight. Then we're going to place our wrist on top of our knees. Make sure you're sitting straight, and just like if you were to just sit on the ground, easy pose. Very simple. Wrist on your knees, hands facing up. It's very simple, like this, okay? Facing up. Down. And now we need to pull our tongue out. This is the practices we're going to do and what we'll do now, they may seem very strange, and they may seem also very easy, very simple, but they will remove your main tension, your main problem on prosperity. This is one of the most wonderful things that I love, is that imagine you have all this fear, all this anger, all these problems, and then you remove it within you. You heal your health, you heal your body, you remove all this tension. What happens? Your thoughts, your communication, your actions change. And this is what leads to prosperity. This is what leads to prosperity. It's not that you meditate and then money will fall onto your head and then problems are solved. What happens is that we remove all of the tension that sits in the physical body first, and then it sits in the brain, in the subconscious. And these are what lead our thoughts, our actions, the way we feel on a daily basis. And you can think about it very logically, in the sense where one day you feel good, next day you feel bad. One day you're healthy, next day you're sick. What causes all these things? It's what we eat, it's what we breathe, it's also what we listen to. Everything around us influences and affects the body on a very physical level. And this is one of the most beautiful things about biology, is that it can be used to heal us. It can also be used to kill us. Both options are there. So whenever we have a lot of tension in the body, it reflects in the way we act. If you're always tired, you do a job that's constantly, it makes you tired, you have less hours to sleep, what happens? Your brain starts to deteriorate, your nervous system is weakened, your immune system weakens, you start to get sick more, you are more likely to become more depressed, you're more likely to be more anxious, and because of that, you always feel that there's nothing to do. You have no energy, you can't do anything, you don't want to do anything. How does this happen? It's not like a miracle thing. It's not that someone else is hurting you, but this is the way our body is affected by situations around us. By not sleeping well, by not eating well, by the thoughts that we constantly focus on and produce. All of this affects our physical body. And this is why one of the first things we work on in Kundalini Yoga is we work on our physical blocks. At the same time, my specialty is I feel where your subconscious affects the entire body and what kind of tension it causes in the physical body. And from there, I also feel where your prosperity block is in the subconscious, where that creates a problem in the physical body, and from there, how it affects everything you do. And I feel precisely what block needs to be replaced and healed. And then automatically, it feels like magic. It will feel like magic where you feel physically lighter, and then out of nowhere, you have all this energy, you're fully confident, and you're ready to take over the world. And it feels like magic. It feels like someone else has done something. But no, this is all done by you. This is one of the most wonderful things about Kundalini Yoga, about the highest yoga, is that we take care very tangibly, very physically of ourselves. And we very physically and tangibly put our time, energy, and focus into healing ourselves. And this same dedication, the same discipline that we apply to taking care of ourselves begins to transfer automatically to prosperity. Automatically. When you recognize what makes you anxious, you recognize that, yes, I get anxious all the time, I have low energy all the time, I am tired all the time, and then you begin to take care of this on a daily basis, this same discipline will begin to transfer towards your goals and your wishes. This is what I teach. Maybe I've not seen many teachers who do this, but this is one of my specialties, is how do we take and automatically grow our prosperity by doing something else. Just as simple as, I'm anxious today, so I'm going to meditate. I'm going to remove this anxiety and release it from my body. And from there, it begins to transfer towards your prosperity goals and wishes. So now we're going to do a practice. We're going to remove our subconscious stress. And then afterwards, I will show you how to set your goal and your wishes and to make money. Okay? Now, again, I will explain. Thumb, index together. Wrist is resting on your knees. Palms are facing up. Spine is straight, and we pull the tongue out. Open up the jaws as much as you can first. As much as you can, as wide as you can. And pull your tongue out. Okay? Now, we need to inhale through the mouth and expand the belly. And imagine you're pushing all the air, all the oxygen you've just inhaled into the belly button, and you need to push it and expand it. So your belly and the belly button expands. And then you need to pull your belly button in as you exhale through the mouth. Expand the belly button and the belly, push, push, push out as you inhale from the mouth. Exhale from the mouth and pull the belly button in. And now we need to do this breath. And when you start to feel more comfortable, we start to go a little faster, like this. And then continue. Close your eyes. And very important is the breath needs to come from the belly. If you breathe from the chest or from the neck, you will hyperventilate. 100%. You will feel horrible. You start slow if this is new to you. Start slow and focus on just doing it very precisely. Inhale from the mouth. Expand the belly button, push it out. And then exhale forcefully, deeply through the mouth and pull the belly button in. So start slow if you're new to Kundalini Yoga, if you've never done this. And make the breath deep. If your breath is shallow, you will feel like you're not breathing, you can't breathe, you will start to feel like you're not getting enough oxygen. So you need to first make the breath deep. And exhale deeply. If you know how to do dog's breath, that is what we're doing. Bring the tongue out as much as you can. Close your eyes. Sit straight. And continue. If you feel slightly dizzy, what's really important, sit very still. Don't move anything but the belly button. And go slow. Inhale deep through the mouth. Expand your belly like a balloon to the maximum. Maximum. And then exhale and pull the belly in. Like you're doing a crunch or ab workout. You need to pull all of it in. And then inhale again, expand. And then exhale and pull everything in. And it's okay if you feel dizzy if you're doing it like this. If you feel dizzy doing this, it means your diaphragm is very clogged and your brain is not used to having a lot of oxygen, but it's very, very healthy. But don't move. If you start to move and you start to itch, what will happen is you'll overload your nervous system and you will feel much more dizzy, and it's not healthy. We need to be very still. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. And if you already know how to do this breath, you continue at a normal pace. We'll do this for 1 more minute. Close your eyes. Keep stretching and pulling the tongue out. "20 seconds. Stay focused. Okay, now inhale deep through the nose. Pull your tongue and press it against your upper palate. Push as much force against your upper palate with your tongue. And exhale through the nose. And relax. Now don't move, just relax your body and start to breathe through the nose, long and deep. Please relax, because now your energy is opening up and your brain is relieving a lot of its tension. Your subconscious is relieving the main block of prosperity. You need to close your eyes and relax now. Don't move. relax, relax, relax. This is as important, if not more important, than the practice we just did. You need to relax because your energy is opening up. And now, start to breathe into the belly. With every inhale, expand the belly and diaphragm. Expand it to the max. Exhale and let it relax and deflate. You can put your hand on your belly. And so with every inhale, you feel your belly is pushing into the hands. And with every exhale, you feel that your belly is relaxing and the hands are going in. Okay, inhale and exhale. Much, much better. How do you feel? If you did this practice, please write down if you feel better or worse. How do you feel? More relaxed, more calm? What has just happened is we just removed the main tension that sits in the lower spine. You have a very big block in the lower spine, and it's a lot of accumulated anger, a lot of accumulated stress and pressure from the world. And it goes and it sits, it blocks your brain stem, and it blocks the energy going into the brain. This is why it's very hard for you in general to breathe very deep. And it's very hard for you to relax. You have a lot of anxiety in general, a lot of tension. You always feel it's very hard to do anything in life. You always feel very small. And this sits first in your lower spine, and then it goes and it blocks your brain. Relaxed, more relaxed, feeling good and light. That's perfect. Great. You have really meditated. You see, this is one of the incredible things is that when I began to learn from my teacher, sometimes she would give a practice for 5 minutes, and then for the rest of the week, I will feel so good, so relaxed, so confident, and it will be so easy to reach my goals. Because what she does and what I've learned from her is how to work with the subconscious block. And when you work with the subconscious block, you remove the physical tension, and then everything else as well relaxes. The entire body relaxes when you remove the main, the root of the problem in the body. And then it becomes very easy to do whatever it is you want. Now we're going to do a very tangible goal for prosperity. You may resist, but it'll be very good for you. Okay, if your goal is to have more money in life, to be able to do a job that you love, to be able to find what you want, to be able to move somewhere, then you need to do this task. You need to earn in the next 4 days, okay, I'm giving a big timeline. In the next 4 days, you need to earn 100 euros doing anything. You can sell anything, you can do anything, but you need to go and do something that will allow you to earn 100 euros. This may be a small number for some people, depending on where you're from, or a big number. Doesn't matter. Take 100 euros, convert it into your currency, and you need to go and do something to earn 100 euros. Anything you want. You may say, I can't do this, it's hard, what do I do? 100 euros is so much for my currency. No, you do not focus on that. You do not complain. You only think now. You can grab a notebook, or you can use your phone, something. Write down, what are 10 things I can do now to earn 100 euros? Equivalent of 100 euros in wherever you're from. Singapore, China, India, Germany, Los Angeles, wherever you're from. Think about converting it. In Singapore dollars, it would be around 140 Singapore dollars. What can you do to earn very quickly, in 4 days, 100 euros? If 100 is very easy, you think, then do it in 2 days or in 1 day. Now, you have to do this task, and then you have to write to me after you do this task. I have done this, I am doing this. And this is really important. You can't just do, if you're thinking this is really hard or I don't know how to earn 100, then you need to do 4 or 5 things. Take 4 or 5 actions that will let you earn 100 euros. 4 or 5 actions. What can you do? This is a really, really big and important task. Why? 1, it will be out of your comfort zone. And it will really bring up your fears, but it's very good because right now we've removed the main block that always slows you down. You become afraid and then you don't do anything. You have an idea, you have a goal, you have a wish, and then you do nothing. So what we need to do is think very short term. How can I earn 100 euros now? What can I do? Anything, by the way. There's possibility to do anything. And you need to start taking action right as I finish this live stream. You need to go and start doing something and earn 100 euros. My first idea for prosperity was I was going to, I decided to start teaching Kundalini Yoga. My idea was to teach it in China. I didn't speak any Chinese. So what did I do? I texted and called my friends who did speak Chinese, who were born there and they're fluent in it. And I said, do you guys want to earn some money? I had this idea of teaching yoga, and I know you guys don't want to teach, so I will teach, and you guys help me advertise and you translate my classes. I will pay you a certain amount, and then we discussed all the details, and we begin that day. Because they liked the idea. They wanted to earn some money that day, this week. So we're like, okay, let's do this. So my first clients were from China, and also the idea just came from very simple of, I'm going to get my friends and we're going to organize a little something and earn some money on the side very quickly, very easily. And everyone was like, this is crazy. This is the hardest thing you could do. Why would you want to go and teach in China? You don't even speak in Chinese. You don't know how to use, because when you're teaching in China, you have to use different software. Zoom doesn't really work. You need certain VPN, and to get the payments also is very difficult. But I was like, it doesn't matter. This is my idea. This is my wish. I'm going to do it. And so after I did my Teacher's Prosperity Methodology, I did that. I went and I earned 100 euros. Actually, I earned a lot more with this very simple idea. The main thing is now you need to think, how can I earn 100 euros? If it's very easy for you, it doesn't seem like a big number, then do it in one day. Do it in 5 hours, in 10 hours. You make the time limit even shorter, but you do it. You go and you make yourself this 100 euros doing anything. One of my other things that I did for prosperity is I would just sell things I wasn't using anymore. I would sell appliances that my family doesn't use anymore, and I would put it on the Singapore version of eBay, and I would make money very quickly. You do the same. Whatever ideas, anything you can do to earn 100 euros, equivalent of 100 euros in your currency. And if you do this task, if you really take action, it will do many things for you. It will open up the energy of prosperity. It will remove a lot of fear when you begin to do it. And as your energy for prosperity will open up, when you do this task, you will very quickly achieve this goal, and you'll be shocked at how easy and simple it was for you to do it. And as you do this, you take this step towards 100, it will become easier to take a step towards 500, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, and grow. And you'll be shocked at how easy it is to create prosperity in your life, to find answers to what you want. Every single one of us has our own ability, our own talents, our own gifts for making money, for being able to create prosperity in our life. And it's very different for each one of us. For some people, it's much easier to just get a single client at a high price, to just get one client for 100 euros. For some, it's easier to sell 5, 10, 20 euros worth of something, or 2 euros worth of something, and get more hundreds of clients to reach the 100. You can do anything. But the idea now is that we need to do something that is our own creativity, is our own idea, our own plan, and then begin to act towards it. And when I began to do this, I found myself to be able to afford to move to Spain, to be able to leave this job I didn't want. I found myself 5 part-time jobs online at the price range, at the hourly wages I wanted. And this part-time jobs were all the easiest things I could do and everything I wanted to do, because all of these jobs were also teaching me skills for me to be able to grow my online yoga business. So this was one of the best ideas, best things I did, but this was everything that came from me. Nobody else taught it to me. And this was one of the best things my teacher taught me. She never actually gave me a lot of ideas on what I could do for prosperity. She would just say, okay, you need to do this meditation, and today you need to go earn 100 euros. You need to go and sell your courses. You need to talk about your products, your services. And so I would do these very simple tasks, but they will lead to much, much bigger results. Much, much bigger results. And then I found myself 5 part-time jobs online, and I was able to move to Spain and create an income for myself and sustain my life living here without any help. And before even my yoga classes were taking off. But everything then I learned from these part-time jobs, doing these small little things, whether it was short-term or something that I was just doing for a few months, they led me to be able to create my online business on yoga. And each thing kept growing and growing. So right now, your idea may be very simple. I'm going to sell these things. I'm going to upload this on eBay, or I will go and I will organize something with my friends, and it will lead to much, much bigger things. It will start to open up your creativity, your ability to create prosperity in you, in your life. And you don't need to wait for anyone. This is really, really important. Do not think, okay, I will do this in 1 hour. I will do this tomorrow. You need to start now. Don't wait. If you wait, the energy starts to die. This is really important. Imagine one day you feel really good. You have a lot of energy. This happens to everyone. We're in a really good mood. We're really confident. And then we're thinking, okay, I should go work out today. I should start my diet today. You're like, yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. I should go and start, make that website I've been waiting to do. I have so much energy. I feel so good. You're like, yeah, I'll do it in an hour. And then an hour comes, you're like, okay, I'll do it in a couple hours. And then you're like, okay, tomorrow, I will feel good. I feel so good right now. It's never going to leave, this feeling. Next day come and you feel like, I'm still good. I'm okay. Yeah. And then you put it off and you put it off. And then you don't feel good anymore. This is like energy. Prosperity is an energy that continues to grow if you take action in it. But if you don't do anything, it will die. You will go back into your state of depression. Doesn't matter how much you meditate. It doesn't matter. Because you're not taking any tangible, concrete steps towards it. So it needs to be very tangible. You need to do things that will allow you to earn 100 euros. You can sell art if you do any art. I recently took up knitting, and I was like, wow, if I wanted, I could start a little business on selling scarves or blankets or something, because I really got into it and I was like, this is a really good idea. So if I ever want to earn some money, I can just, every single day I'm knitting whenever I'm watching something or I'm relaxed, I don't have any work. Okay, I make something, I can sell it. Prosperity is everywhere if you want it, if you want opportunity. And when you start to do it, your energy will open up. So now we're going to finish this live stream. Your energy has been opened. You have fear coming up. It doesn't matter. You can still be afraid and take action. I was terrified every single time I took every action I did for prosperity. But it didn't matter. Because when you start to open up prosperity energy, it's not that all of your fears will disappear. All of your problems will disappear right away. But you have this window of opportunity for change, for growth, for expansion. It's a window. Either you can open this window fully and then leave and walk out and jump out the window, or you just stay and you close this window and you stay in the same place and nothing changes. Right now, we have opened up a lot of energy. So go and think about, how can I earn 100 euros in the next 4 days? 4 days, if it seems too easy, make it 2 days. Too easy, make it 10 hours. How can I earn 100 euros in 10 hours? This is so fun. I'm going to do this task as well, and I will let you know how it goes. I will talk about it tomorrow in my stories, okay? If you do this task, and if you do this task, you will 100% get results in the next 4 days. Then send me a picture of your result and tell me how it went. and I will show you how to open up prosperity even more. Okay, tomorrow we have day 2. Today was just day 1. Tomorrow we have day 2, and we go even deeper and further into the work. In the marathon, first day is very powerful. Second day, it's like creating a momentum. Just like I was saying, it's creating that energy, opening the energy. It will become stronger and deeper and more powerful for you. So tomorrow we will start. I will need to confirm the time because I believe I have a seminar for 5 hours with my teachers. So I will let you know and confirm the timing. I will post it on Instagram and on my Telegram channel to confirm the time. And then we go into day 2. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will continue this prosperity program, marathon, and really open up the energy of prosperity. See you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me, and go and start your task of earning 100 today.